If it was, oh, yes, 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 yes. Everybody, True Life Stories. I'm here with my friend
Reese.
Reese, and he about to give y'all some information. I said from now on, when I do these trip stories, I'm gonna start talking to my friends that are already out here, that's been through this, that understands what I'm going through. So I'm gonna let him. What's up with it, King guys? What's up with it? We're gonna make y'all make these messages visible. Okay, King Oz, I'll tap into you, man. I'll tap into you, but I'm gonna let my friend go right here, going, and he gonna give a couple of stories, man, cause he got stories right now. He done been to that realm a few times. So everybody say hi to Reese.
Howdy, howdy. How y'all doing? Coming live right now. I want to give a shout out to my friend, not Sophia Janine. And yeah, DMT, man. Talk about a light in the universe that you could never expect to find, and it exists in all of us. And it's the building block of spirituality, in my opinion. My first experience with DMT came when I was about 17 to 19, and we all sitting around smoking weed in my friend's house, and my chemist buddy of mine who used to grow mushrooms, he was the Mushroom Connect, came over, and it's like, hey, I made some DMT. You guys want to experience something? You know, he was very careful not to use the term getting high, and I tried to use that as well, because it's not a high, it's a experiment, or experience. It's of reality. And needless to say, you know, whatever, he pulls out a light bulb with a little tube off of it, like straight ghetto looking crack pipe thing looking, you know. I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this right now. But everybody else did it, gets to me, and I take a big hit, and next thing I know, I'm launched off the planet, and I'm seeing the different planets go by, and I remember looking back at Earth, and my head got yanked to the side, and that was my correlation to know that this experience was real, because for 2 weeks after that, I couldn't turn my head to the left because I had a pulled muscle in my neck. So it was like, that was the only reason I knew, you know what I mean? That was the solidity, or the solid relation to, like, kept it real, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And so after I go outside of our planetary system, past another galaxy, into another galaxy where all these planets are swirling colors, and end up at this golden planet with this like 9-foot tall golden being, light coming through. It's like one of those oil things around, and it swirls with the glitter and the gold flakes in it.
Yeah.
And same with the being, and I could tell it was a female. I don't know how, had no obvious female characteristics, but just the energy was female. And I remember her telling me that I needed to stop asking why, because why is a pointless question. You can ask why and get the answer to why 1,000 times and never gain any ground with it.
Yeah.
They told me I needed to stop asking why and start asking how and what, because those are things that you can move forward with and get something to hold on to. And that was my first experience with it. Second time I did it, it was I remember we paid $350 for a gram.
What the God?
And it was
$350 for a gram?
Yeah.
You hear that?
But it was made by a scientist in Berkeley.
Oh.
It was in the city, and it was a teacher at Berkeley. I'm not going to name names because I would hate to get him in trouble, but that time was, it was lit. He kept saying it's little green men, and that's the one with the little tricksters and the gnomes that you see running around that like to play games, and they're really just big mirrors, your little mirrors, you know, reflections of yourself. And what you see, or what they see, or what they do, it directly relates to where you're at in your life. And I just remember seeing all these things, and they kept taking little parts to this project I had, and I'm like, and it was so weird, dude. Like, and every time they take the wrench that I needed, or you know what I mean, and like, it was just a trip, man. But
Wait.
yeah, it was. I don't even know.
Now, y'all hear this. Now, I explained to y'all what the gestures was, what I felt they was. Now, you hear what he's saying the gestures are. They taking little pieces
They're involved in all the aspects of life, like as far as anything that goes right or wrong. I don't even know how to explain it. It's beyond explanation.
Yeah.
It's something you have to experience, but it's crazy because that was the second time. Third time was shortly thereafter. My other buddy had had made some or extracted some, and that was probably the most like wake up experience out of all of it, because that time when I did it, I didn't go anywhere as far as blasting off. I stayed here, but the dimensional value thickened and the layers became apparent to me, like how right here, right now, there's dinosaurs walking in this, because time isn't real. Time is an illusion. There's, clocks. Time doesn't exist. Clocks exist. So, it's like it's this moment right now, and right now, and right now, and right now, and they're all the same moment.
Yeah.
But because of the way our brain's wired, we experience as a linear progression.
Oh.
And that was probably the coolest one. That was the first time I became aware of a tether and became aware of my true self, or my spiritual inner self, reptilian. I'm definitely reptilian.
Wait. What do you mean you're reptilian?
We all have an inner being, right? Or an over, I guess it's more of a over being, because it exists in all the different dimensions, and it's based on our genetics. We're a mixture of 14 different alien races. Human beings are, in like I said, in my opinion. But
no, I believe you, because like my experience when I was laying in that fucking thing looking up, it was like I was in like an incubator or something.
Yeah.
Looking out. So like I felt like I wasn't from here. I'm from somewhere else, and I'm just here for this experience in some type of weird way. But like I always thought the gestures and things like that were different aspects of me.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, everything is an aspect of you, because we're creating it, and it's all coming from the, how would you say, like, it's all created in your subconscious. So therefore, everything that is in physical reality is a product of your subconscious. So it's being created by that. It has to follow those rules, follow that order, whatever you believe. You know what I mean? And 95% of everything is belief. The other 5% would be like the effort we put forward, or the manifestation properties aspect of it. Like, it's a beautiful disaster, or a everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, everything and nothing at the same. It's a beautiful ugly. That's what I call it. A beautiful,
and like
ugly.
For example, my friend Melissa, she lost everything. She used to own a smoke shop, and and she lost all her stuff. And in this process, she became like a somewhat decent human being. You know what I mean? She lost everything, and she's struggling now and living on the street, whatever, living in a tent in somebody's backyard, whatever it is. But she has compassion that she never had before, and sympathy, and like she can relate to shit that she never would have considered. She used to be, oh man, she was a head trip, dude.
So how do you think DMT has changed you?
Well, for one, it enabled me to come back when I died. I had blood clots in my lungs, and I died for 6 minutes. And because of my experiences in the, like, I wouldn't say hyperspace, but in that realm of DMT, which is a more pure version of it, I feel like, because I realized that where I was at that moment, had I not ever been on DMT or experienced DMT, I would have just gone with the rest of the things and
Yeah.
gone into the light and been recycled or melted into another can, like for instance, you know, like it's kind of like a recycling center. All the aluminum cans get crushed and melted
Yeah.
and melted down. So when I died, I went to this beautiful atrium. It was like the Colosseum or something, all these arches, and then the ceiling was this beautiful blue-green marble, and there was like a security camera looking thing in the middle. And there were all these dirty Kleenex or dirty shop rags that were like dirty and ripped, and there was still light coming through, but it was very minimal. And then when they all swirled up to this like drain-looking security thing, there was a mechanical noise, womp, like Terminator, kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
womp, womp, like one of those. And every time the noise came, one would come out of the lens part or whatever it was, and it would be so bright and perfect that it hurt your eyes to look directly at it. You couldn't look directly at it. And each one would just, sometimes in groups of two, sometimes in groups of three, it'd flutter down. There were thousands and thousands of arches all around, like the Colosseum, you know what I mean? And they just, you go down to whichever one you choose, you know? And so whenever you pass, where your head is, where your mind is, your subconscious mind, like, for instance, if you're in fear, afraid of going to hell, you're going to end up in hell because that's what's on your mind.
That's what's on your mind.
So they fluttered down into their respective arches, and at that moment, I realized, oh my God, this is the place souls are recycled or cleansed or whatever you want to call it. And so at that point, I found my tether and I pulled myself back to my body. My daughter had been born like 6 months prior to that, and I knew that I couldn't leave yet. You know what I mean? I needed to be here for her, and that's the main reason DMT affected my life. The other thing is, I had a friend who got fronted like a quarter pound of speed or crystal meth back in the day, like when we were like 15, and he lost his mind, literally lost his mind. And the night that we did the DMT the first time, his mom came and dropped him off and hang out, and I hadn't seen him in probably 6 years.
Changaboga.
And fucking, you know, we go to family fun centers, go mini golfing and shit, and fucking, he's the same person, but he's not there. Like he's not all there. I don't know how to describe it, but within 6 months of him trying DMT with us for the first time, his mom's like, he's back to himself. And I saw him a couple months after that, and
Look, he said, nah, fam, go to the light. The light will lead you to darkness. The everything and nothing, but not death, but life. Let's see, he talking some Emerald Tablets knowledge, telling y'all that book is about DMT. Who? I don't understand that. But y'all got any questions? Because he got...
I mean, I'm...
completely blank out your mind.
I agree.
Dopamine. Oh, yeah, that's snail horseplay.
Yeah.
We know, but... So, how do you look at everything now? Like, how do you vision everything?
I wouldn't say it's like the Matrix where all the you know what I mean, are going down, but if you had to put it into some kind of perspective, all the falsities and all the lies are just so apparent, you know, and the system is just so out of whack right now. And if you can't tell that, you know, my whole life the sun used to rise in the east and set in the west, and now it's rises in the southeast and sets in the southwest. I ain't seen the sun directly above us in almost 2 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is.
If it is real sun, you know,
yeah,
like
if
now
it is,
level, if it even is, if that is your real name, no, Mr. Sun. They say that the moon was actually a vehicle driven here by I think it was the Lumerians or the Lumerians just outside the Kuiper belt and the Kuiper in the. Anyways, it was.
So is okay? Because I was watching some movie, and it like people they were on this planet, and not this planet, but they were on another planet that was like all beautiful, everything was perfect. Then there was a war that broke out, and it fucking destroyed their planet. But the pieces they went onto this ship. And the ship like was all fucked up, but they learned how to manage the ship and work the ship, and they learned how to work it, and then they start taking them to different parts of, you know, different other places.
Yeah.
And they came to Earth or some shit looking for that soul of that princess that died, and I'm like, where are they fucking getting these stories from?
Well, I mean the books in the Bible that were left out, like the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
Basically all pre biblical texts, and like the Sumerian tablets, the let's see, Sumerian tablets, the Egyptian, they call it it's the Egyptian Sun School or something along those lines. But yeah, there's you look at
He said,
when
think
what
he think the moon was
tablets of the
Thought's ship when Quetzalcoatl opened the floodgates.
checks out. I mean, that
Could be
could be, yeah.
the Lost Book of Inky.
Yep.
Now, what was that other article you said that you was reading about the card?
It's just it was on a government website.
Okay.
Saturn is basically, it's a giant satellite, and it's used to as a repeater or as a Wi-Fi extender kind of thing. And it, from wherever they're sending these transmissions, it repeats that and sends it out. Yeah. Long story short, I don't even.
Come back.
Yeah.
To black knowledge. Pure European. You go back to the ego, to emo. You'll come back to the black interest knowledge. I don't understand that. This is speculation by him, focused on his DMT trip and what he's seen. Hey, street lethal. I know, but yeah, y'all ask questions about his DMT trip or whatever, because it can be speculation, but then it's just a different look on.
These are all things that I believe to be true, and I'm basing that on my three centers of judgment in my body: the mind, the body, and the spirit, or the head, the heart, the soul, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. It's in every religion you could think of, every aspect. The triangle's the strongest shape in all of everything, and
Say, will DMT affect your drive and ambition in a negative way?
I don't see it doing such a thing. I see other things that go along with that lifestyle affecting that, but not so much the DMT itself. If you use it for spiritual purposes, it's a growth thing. It's not an inhibitor, in my opinion.
The spirit molecule.
Yep.
It uplifts.
It wakes people up. It's a
Tesla,
it takes the blinders off, so to speak.
Say, how many messages of DMT do you do at, how many, what? MGS of DMT do you do at six?
I couldn't tell you. I'd say maybe like 0.2 of a gram per person if you smoke it. If you're doing it any other way, I'd want to measure it out. I really don't know. I'd take 2 big hits off of a water pipe with the torch lighter, and to my experience, you can't re-hit it to go back, because your body will not allow you to experience that right back to back to back. You have to it takes at least a half hour to an hour before you can even get back to that state of mind or back to that plane. And it's amazing. Like, it's produced in 98% of all living things on the planet. There's only 2 species of animal that don't make it. And
he said he want to know if you ever tried to touch the entities while on DMT.
No, but the female entity touched my shoulder when I was.
What did it feel like?
It felt like the way your father or mother would feel when they pat you on the back, or you've made a mistake, but then they've already known that mistake was going to happen, and it was an empathetic. It wasn't negative, but it was like, we already knew you were going to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
wow.
It was like, it's a trip, you know?
It's like that feeling of first being born and your mom touched you. Courtney said, how do you suggest we avoid the void being recycled back into the 3D Saturn energy extraction matrix system?
I would say stick to what you believe. We got to stop fearing death. In order to ascend, you have to embrace death and know that it's a natural part of this process of life and in the experiences. We are a eternal being having a human experience right now. We're all part of the same thing. Maybe not all of us per se, but for the most part, human beings in general are it's more of spatial relations than anything. Like, the number of cells in the body is directly correlated to the number of hairs on the head, or not the hair. The number of cells in the body are directly correlated to the number of organ or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then like each organ is to person, and then each person is relative to the population of the city, and each city population is relative to the number of cities. And it's like spatial relations. It's fractal. Everything is fractal.
Yeah, everything is fractal.
And it's all holographic in the sense that you can take a little part, and we're holographic because you can use any part of our DNA and recreate the whole thing. Now we're starting to get into like secondary DNA and stuff like that. Like, are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Where you have one DNA from one type of source, and it has a secondary set of DNA, and so after a certain point of its being alive, or not alive, but of its life cycle, it starts producing this secondary genetics. So, for example, Morgellons, which is it's a disease or like a fungal infection or whatever. They use mushroom mycelia to propagate this secondary DNA. In the secondary DNA, it starts to grow spider-like or insect-like little bits and pieces inside people, and they use it as communicators. They produce these fibers. If you look at the $100 bill, it's blue and red fibers.
Yeah.
That's Morgellons fibers. And
wow, I didn't know that.
It's like, it's a trip because...
So, do you know about astral projection?
I'm familiar with it. I remote view all the time.
Okay.
I try not to...
What you mean remote view?
I'll take my consciousness and push it outside of my body so that I can see what's going on in other places. It's kind of like astral projection, but it's more controlled, and I know where I want to go, and
How do you even accomplish that, though?
I've done it since I was a little kid. It used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. I thought it was night terrors, you know what I mean? Projection. I used to get sleep paralysis where I'd be laying there and I couldn't move, and I'm just like, what the heck, you know? When I was a kid, I used to write these. I mean, I remember being in kindergarten writing these stories about being a fighter pilot and all kinds of and everybody tell me, stop lying about that. You know, you never did that. I'm like, yes, I did. How come I know that this is and you know what I mean? I could get into a P-51 Mustang and start it up and fly it. You know what I mean? Like, as a kid, I knew everything about it. We went to the Natural History Museum, and they had all these tools labeled with, and all these Stone Age tools with the hunters. And I'm like, those aren't the hunters' tools. Those are what women use those for fucking, whatever it was. I think it was like, it looked like a fucking potato masher, basically. You know what I mean? And within, I don't know, probably 2 years, 3 years, it's the big old thing in the newspaper. Like, oh, all this stuff we thought was for this was for something else.
God.
And it's
See, what you saying that
I used to get beat up by my dad for fucking lying and telling me falsities
and that's what I was talking about. Y'all hear that? That's what I said. Past life experiences. We always think that when we come into this reality and we reincarnate back, we think that they wipe our memories clean. No, they don't. We wipe our own memories clean of what
be in order.
Yeah, so we can function in this reality. They make us forget about everything that we seen. They tell you hear that, hey, no, that didn't happen. This didn't happen. That's not right.
The red thing on Men in Black. Think.
Yeah, think. And you basically wiping your damn self.
Yep. That's because if we came into this with all the knowledge of our past lives, it would, at such a young age, it would destroy us, though.
He said, look at the logo in my avatar. Has anybody seen this on the trip? It's like a play button almost.
Yeah, it's that's a hyperspace symbol. I can't recall exactly what it is. I would suggest you check out Stuart Swerdlow. He was one of the psychics in the Philadelphia project, or in the Montauk project, and he has a really good video. It's called The Language of Hyperspace, and he worked for the government. His father was one of the original KGB Secret Service members of Russia, so they got him under their thumb when he came here. and they intentionally blinded him so that he would enhance his psychic abilities. And he was visited by these things apparently, and he broke it down to him. You know, like you have the flower of life is a hyperspace symbol. The circle is a hyperspace. The dot, single dot is a hyperspace symbol. The plus sign, and hyperspace. It all comes back to geometry, in my opinion.
Yeah,
geometry is key. And
yeah, he said, Changa Bodega, he said, my mother clearly remembers choosing her parents from above them, like looking down on them through the clouds. What you think about that?
I think that's right on, because when my daughter turned 4, she just started talking up a storm, you know, and it was 4 or 5, something like that. She looks at me and she goes, "No, Daddy, you got it wrong. I'm here for you. You're not here to help me. I'm here to help you." And I'm just like, that's crazy, because that's how I've always felt about my parents, is I'm here to help my parents through what they would have never made it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it all comes back to experience, and we are an eternal being trying to have a human experience, trying to see. The computer is trying to fucking be alive, and vice versa, you know what I mean? We're trying to be the computer now, and it's like, it's this big, I don't know, it's like an infinity sign, you know, the what is it, the
two fish, or
the Taoism.
Taoism.
In the Buddhist beliefs, they have like it's the infinity sign, and it goes plant, animal, human, rock, plant, animal, like, so it's a trip, man.
Circle, huh?
Yeah, it's, you know, well, it's like a big figure 8, and it's constant, it's never ending, you know.
Because every time, like on my trips, that's what they always showed me, is that you here all the time. You're gonna always be.
Yep. Well, I mean, our bodies are made up of carbon. Carbon being stardust, basically. You know, like I don't know if you guys haven't checked it out. There's this
Holy mind, Bible body.
Yep. Tetragrammaton.
Tetragrammaton.
Yeah.
Tetragrammaton. Wow.
Yep. Star seeds.
You are spaceborn?
We are. We're all okay. I'm a traveler of both time and space.
Yeah.
The Led Zeppelin song, you know?
Yeah. Somebody
Like,
sent that to me.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. It had me damn near in tears. Like, what the hell?
It actually, so another buddy of mine, I worked at an adult store for a while, and I had this dude that I knew that was really into salvia. And
Yeah.
salvia is directly related to basil, and it's also directly related to hops, and it's also directly related to mint. And it's crazy, because I never liked salvia. I always went to a dark carnival where I didn't have tickets for none of the rides, and fucking it was crazy, right? Well, my friend brought this stuff back from England, and it was like 200 triple X in red letters, 200 XXX, and it's all purple sticky salvia, whatever, and the stuff was black. It wasn't purple.
Yeah, that's for you right there. Thanks, fascinating. I used it as my logo because I feel
it's a spiritual significance, but I can't define it.
Wow. Wow.
So
You're
yeah,
welcome.
so I ended up smoking. My friend told me no, it's not going to be like you think, and so because he brought it all the way back from England, I decided to smoke with him. I was like, I'll give it one more shot, salvia. You know, I was super against it, because I seen the videos of people trying to jump into their mattresses and all kinds of crazy shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, fuck it. And when I did it, it was almost like the story of the Brahma and the bull in the Hindu belief, where it shattered me into a innumerable amount of pieces, like like billions and billions of pieces, and bent me over the space-time continuum or whatever it is. And so I am now in space-time, or I'm in space-time right now, but I'm in time-space there, and I can move freely through time however I want, but I can't move freely through space anymore. I've lost the ability to move through space, but I can move through time. And I'm experiencing this as billions and billions of little pieces, and I saw, like, that's what we are to God. where that, you know, in the Brahma and the bull talks about Shiva fucking taking the bull and ripping him into a bunch of pieces and strewing him across the galaxy, and like that's what created the constellations and the galaxies and whatever.
Wow.
And it's just crazy how like hallucinogenic. They saved my life. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms anymore. I used to do them all the time, but like I don't know.
I was talking the trees. That tree, him right there, was talking to me off mushrooms.
Yeah.
And he was telling me his soul's trapped in these trees.
Yeah, and they're not happy in the confinement of suburbia.
Oh my God!
When I was
wait, hold on. Now we're about to get into this tree thing, because these trees will talk to you if you in that frequency,
vibration.
Yeah, in that vibration.
Everything has a vibration. Everything is alive. From the weird, you know, every rock on the ground.
Yeah, every rock
is alive or has been alive at some point. And if you think about it, rocks are heavy and dense because the molecules are moving slowly. So in my opinion, that's us at the end of the time. You know what I mean? That's right before you start back into the plant life cycle. But it's like, yeah, everything has a vibration. Everything has a soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And
so the plants,
yeah,
and the trees, like, what did you get out of them?
I remember being really probably way too young to be trying acid, but I did acid for the first time, and I sat at Renette Park over here and fucking talked to a tree for 2.5 hours.
What?
And it was telling me how it's been there for 200 years or 100 years or whatever, and like it was just so sick of being there, and it just wanted to propagate and experience somewhere else, because the way the people came in, and before it was happy, open, there's nothing there, you know what I mean? And then people came in and boxed it up, and then the boxes keep getting smaller and smaller, and the less happy that tree is, you know what I mean?
And they feel, for some reason, they feel trapped though, like they feel like he was saying, they like are the real slaves. Like when you think of slaves.
Well, look what they do for us. They create oxygen so that we can survive.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you were that, you know what I mean?
And
I don't know.
He was holding this little child, and he's like, what about our kids? And I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do about my kids. Like, I don't know how to help you with yours.
Right.
But when you think about it, it's like, yeah, like ain't no reproducing really. Not right there.
And out in Phoenix, they come and spray all kinds of like anti-chemicals to stop them, like the olive trees out there.
Yeah.
They'll spray this crap on there. And I only know this because it'll affect weed plants too, and it'll make your weed plants not flower. So,
wow.
You know what I mean? It's an anti. It stops the life cycle, and those trees out there in Phoenix are so unhappy, man. Like, I don't know. Everything in Phoenix is unhappy though, pretty much. Like,
how did they? So how did they even get trapped inside these? I mean, are they trapped or?
They signed up for it, I guess, like agreed to it before they came there. Like, I think that's maybe one of the arches in the atrium place that I was, maybe.
Yeah, wow.
Speculate. All I can do is speculate.
Look, that's Tesla's tied to everyone. You know, you can feel them all strongly when you're on shrooms. Yeah, David. Yeah, the shrooms.
Shrooms are a trip, man. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make us a genderless, non-reproducing society. But I mean, you got to look at it from the other side too, and look at how our population is. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it, and it's not right in any means. But there is some logic behind, like cutting down the population of Earth a little bit. Like, personally, I think we're going to experience a pole shift here pretty soon. The water here in California has been hotter than it's ever been in recorded history. The sea surface temperatures. I'm a fisherman by trade, and we're getting marlin and wahoo right now that we never get. We never get fishing like this right now. And it's not even El Nino, nothing,
Yeah.
And it's like some of the best fishing we've seen in hundreds of years.
Wow. Let's see.
But
the trees from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know that the sequoias were a gift from the Pleiadians, along with mushrooms. Mushrooms were a gift, and the sequoias were a gift from the Pleiadians when they propagated our planet.
Yeah. What the? I never heard that. So there is actually like trees and animals here that came from other galaxies or other places.
You ain't never looked at some bug or something and been like, that thing ain't from here, you know? Like,
a lot of things.
Yeah.
I
mean, people. You see people, dude. I see the inner, the true. I don't know how to say it. It's their inner self or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can just see like the big old horse mouth, fucking reptilian, fucking. Okay, that show Archer has the T-Rex guy, the white dude. Like they look just like that. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, oh, they're wearing an Edgar suit, you know, from Men in Black. It's like, what the?
Yeah, people tell me about these things, but they say you don't want to really come in contact with them because once that they know that you know them,
yep,
they'll start fucking with
you. That's my experience with it.
And it'll fucking freak you out.
I got so sick of being watched and surveyed and going along with it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit down in front of the store and start playing music. You want to watch me? Watch this, you know? I'm gonna start telling everybody about you. And that hasn't really worked out in my favor, obviously. Look at, you know, but
it don't
it is what it is.
In the realm that we're trapped in because we're all the same. We're all the same person.
Yep.
Just experiencing this in a different aspect.
Yep. And it's all relative to perspective. Some person's angel is going to be somebody else's demon.
Yeah.
And it's all it's like the yin yang, but imagine the facets on a diamond, like, and then to the power of 10,000. So it's all balanced.
Everybody always say fractals.
Fractals, exactly.
I'll be telling people about fractals. They be like, a fractal? What's a fractal? And it's like, damn, I don't want to explain it.
Basically, a visual hologram is what a fractal is. It no matter how close you are or how far away, it makes the same image.
Same image. God, us.
Yes.
God, us.
Yep. Mainly like everything I know to be true in my mind.
What do you mean by that? Why are we cut off?
I don't have an answer for that. Candy and cookies. Shahi Hajo.
Yeah.
That's cool. I hope you get it now. Life is a beautiful thing, and we need to just continue on with love. Follow your joy, follow your passion. There's a difference between a greedy act of taking where you get joy, like what we could describe joy, but it's coming from other people and from other things. Joy starts from inside and it spreads outwards. It's like when you're in church and they say the presence of God enters the room. You know what I mean? That's joy. That's true love. And like, I wouldn't say necessarily just church, but that's a good example.
When that lady on the DMT, the one who touches you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's always somebody that got their hand right here and another hand on my shoulder. Like they standing on the side of me like this every time I go in. Like, I got you. I got you.
And they say, have you ever... Okay, there's a book that I would recommend for you. It's called the Urantia, I think is what it's called. The Urantia. And it talks about our planet was seeded, and it talks about how there's a war going on. And
Urantia. Y'all hear that?
Yep.
And
I agree with you, Courtney. It's definitely a prison planet. This heaven and hell are here on Earth. Our actions and our choices dictate whether we're living in hell. It's all a perspective. If you're constantly living in manners that drag you down and make you upset, then yeah, you're living in hell. If you can see the brighter side of the picture and the glass is half full, then you're living in heaven. So
they hitting you up. Look, what kind of war is taking place?
It's a spiritual war. It's the war between right and wrong, good and evil. We don't have to bring each other out because we all signed a pact or an agreement. We all agreed to be here right now. The Urantia Papers, thank you.
The Urantia Papers?
Yeah.
Okay.
As above, so below.
Yeah, what you think about that saying?
I think it's another aspect of fractal or
Yeah,
holographic.
yeah. Because the fractal above is the same as the one below.
Yeah, because we are a part of that original image or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. They go, look,
Somewhere, earth and hell, dude, you can make life. It's exactly. Heaven and hell are here on earth. Our perspective and choices make it heaven or hell.
either or. True self not here.
What do you mean by that? True self not here?
Means that like your true self, your higher self or something probably is not here. Is what a lot
Most
people
of us are tricked to stay here. I believe. The Four Agreements, unbelievable book as far as helping people understand what role they have in everything.
The higher being is not here.
The higher being is neither here or there. It's inside of us and outside of us and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like
everywhere.
a literal nut job when I speak out loud the things I know to be true.
Don't.
I
You
don't.
in the
I
right
mean, I know
place.
I'm not. I
Look.
know I'm not, but
You got 56 people watching you right now.
Right?
You in the right fucking place right now.
yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
what they want to hear because they feel the same ways we feel.
Don't
So-
smoke, but if you're gonna smoke, it's not like they're better for you.
But yeah, look, see, everybody, man, we here for each other, man. Like, and this is how we feel. And a lot of people, we feel like don't nobody understand us, and we have these same thoughts. But
Yep.
this is why I made this. So
That's
we
right.
can come together and we can talk about this shit.
Right.
And you're not gonna be judged. We're just trying to all find out. So as you're saying it, they're taking it in.
Yeah.
They taking it in and they gonna go and do their research. But a lot of them already feel the way you're saying. So
I listen to everything. I play mostly reggae and a little bit of
it's just meditate, be vegetarian, don't smoke, drugs, all this shit, or describing about DMT you can accomplish in deep meditation.
the singer from Tool, Maynard, Keenan James Maynard, I believe is his name. He says a person should do acid one time and spend the next 10 years or the rest of their life, however long it takes them, trying to reach that same point of being without any drugs. Drugs are just a gateway. Drugs drugs open the door. They're like a key to a door. Once you've experienced that, you should never ever have to ingest that substance ever again because you can get back to that point through meditation. It's the point now where I don't even have to. I talk about something and I've already start feeling it. You know what I mean?
You start getting the information and just start coming to you.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that because a lot of people, they say that you can reach, I'm not going to say that you can't reach it through meditation, but when you think about it, there are all these different forms. We always judge ourselves by judging everybody else. That's how we actually judge ourselves. We're judging and saying you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. But in actuality, you can't tell nobody what they shouldn't and what they can't do because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what type of life they live. And you judging off of how your life went.
Right.
And what you went through in your life. And a lot of us, we didn't been through the ringer. So we take these openings.
I think that the 5-MeO, all the MEOs and the 2CEs and the 2CBs, I think all the RC chemicals, man, it's an attempt to get to the same place, but it's an unnatural, you know. It's lacking that the root chakra, the grounding. It's lacking that connection, I guess. It's
5-MeO.
Yeah, all the research stuff. It's because it's synthesized. It's not extracted. You know what I mean?
Know that. He said, Thoth is the greatest great, the son of man who reached his full potential. Have you read about Thoth?
Nah, I mean I've heard of his name a few times in passing, but I don't know.
It's Chim.
It's Kim. Yeah.
Kim. Chemicals.
Yeah, it's not natural. It's an unnatural thing.
I thought 5-MeO. I didn't know that.
They're synthesized. But I mean, to each their own, and some people have more of a certain percentage of other, maybe let's say a different type of extraterrestrial, higher percentage of a different type of extraterrestrial in their genetic makeup. Like, for instance, spice, not good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For me, it allowed me to see the algorithms in the Keno games, and I started winning fucking mad money at the casinos off of it.
Wow.
So it says right there, not for human consumption. Just another thing that I fucking believe. I'm not human like most people, you know?
I'm gonna post this until he notice. Look, get a YouTube.
Like, make a YouTube?
Yes. Yes, make a YouTube. Start talking to people about these things.
Right. Right?
Because that's, I mean, you like to say it, you got all this information.
Yeah,
And, and right now, it's a different time right now. This is what everybody's into because they're trying to figure out
who they are, what they are, where they are, what we're
doing. Where they from, and you got the information, and people want to hear it.
Hold on, what's that say?
Yeah, scroll down.
Okay, it says, hold on 1 second, guys. 5-MeO is also present in both of them, which is found in the Okay.
Yeah, the
5-MeO is also present in, okay, both, yeah.
Yeah, that's where they.
Okay, maybe I'm incorrect. I stand
thought that's
corrected.
where they were getting it from.
I'm not sure 100% on that. I'm more of a shaman than a chemist or a, you know, I've experienced everything you could ever imagine putting into your body. I've done it once or twice, and let's just say that you don't need it, no matter what it is.
What about the ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca. It depends where you are in your life.
You did it?
I've done ayahuasca.
Where?
At the Black's Beach full moon drum circles.
And what was
it's like DMT, but it doesn't break down in your system, so it's not like a 30-second thing where you know what I mean? You're gone and then back. It's like 8 hours of fucking being in direct correlation with those spirit guides, with your angels, with your guardian angels, with your spirit guides that are around you.
So have you ever talked to any of these entities, like while you were there, like held a conversation with them?
We had the golden entity that I spoke with. We didn't speak anything out loud. It's all telepathic. It's all
like in the mind.
It's all communication. There's no words. I mean, words are part of the distraction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, because we get so caught up on definitions that it's like we lose sight of the point of what it really is going on, and it's a feeling, it's a vibration, it's an emotion, it's love.
Everything is mind. Mind is real reality. Everything we experience here is the illusion.
Yep.
Light entities don't speak words. Yeah, I know it's a frequency connection language. Yeah, I know they don't speak words, but in order for everybody to understand,
even when you're doing something that you don't necessarily like to do, if you do it with love, like for instance, I had to whoop my friend's ass the other day because he's fucking up big time, and if I didn't love that person, I wouldn't even have cared enough to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fighter. When I fight, I get angry and I black out, and it's not good. But my homeboy was about to seriously affect his entire family based on his choices, and I wasn't about to let that happen to my little sisters and my mom. You know what I mean? Because my parents aren't in my life anymore. My dad disowned me for having a quarter black child, so that's where I'm at with my family.
Nigga, baby?
Yeah. Hey, once you go black,
you never go back.
No, I thought it was you're gonna need a wheelchair.
No. Hey, but then a lot of black girls though, you know, once you go white, it'll get your credit right. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just like, nah. My child is the same. Look, wow, that's crazy, man. That we even, dang, why is it like that though?
I don't understand how racism is still so prevalent
in
the world today. We got to stop looking at color and start looking at race of like the human race. And I don't know. there's so many synthetics that walk among us that pretend, you know what I mean? It's the odds are against us, but such is history of all that. In all things in life. See, the thing about good and evil is good is really bad at organizing. We have such time getting together and making a plan and sticking to it, and the darkness is very, very good at that, and they are very organized. But at the end of the race, the end of the day, it's good always comes together at the end and defeats evil. Have you ever lit a lighter and not had the darkness come out of the room? You know what I mean? Like, light always takes over dark, no matter what.
In the end, but hey, you guys, this is about an hour. I gotta cut this short.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's getting long, man.
So snip. I got things I gotta do right now, but I just had to bring my friend so he can talk to y'all. We'll run into him again, and then we'll have a better, because we kept having problems with the computer. The computer would not let us go live.
Yeah, the consciousness police were not trying to have this happen. And we had to actually do it off the cell phone because the computer wouldn't allow it to go live.
Would not. The computer would not work. Hey, the crazy thing about it is, did you hear what he called them? The consciousness police. Y'all know the consciousness police been fucking with us since we started this. They've been messing with us. Yeah, they have been messing with us. That's who they call them, the consciousness police. They don't want us to get this information out.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Peace, blessings, respect, safe travels, and one more that I don't remember, but you'll probably remember by the time you get home.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day.
Just say everybody say they goodbyes. Look, it's a magnet and force energy. Peace. Too, bro. This is good stuff. My God, just time. My guy, just time in the building.
What? My Ty?
Just time. Another YouTuber.
Okay.
Yeah, Just Ty. He all his videos, like, you gotta look him up. All his videos is like based on what we talking about. He got like the best videos.
My name is Reese. I go by Sage. My stage name is Sage. White Sage.
Come again.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank y'all. I've been in the redneck part of town too long, out in Lakeside.
I go to Lakeside too. I don't give a damn.
No, hey, but I remember the days, dude. There used to be a sign right next to the Lakeside sign that said, "If you're black, don't let the sun set on your back." When I was a kid, like, I remember that sign, dude. And like, I can't believe that shit, Fuck.
Oh shit, that shit is hilarious. If you black, don't let the sun set on your back. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but if it's funny, it's just funny.
Oh, it is. I mean,
it's funny. Experiencing Jesus right now. Oh, not that old though.
Lord?
Yeah, like Lord, like Lord. You're not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 32. That tells you that there was prevalent in a very short time frame. It's still there. I don't know. That has nothing relevant to what we were talking about, but
yeah, it does.
Just goes to show you how people will group up like-minded opinions and be assholes based on their opinion of falsities and misbeliefs, and a lot of times it's what they're taught.
Yeah,
they don't know no better.
Everybody, they always they judge from here. They don't judge from here, from the heart. You know what I mean? But
close your eyes and look, man. It's not that hard. Just
close your eyes and listen.
Shut your ears and listen.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, and last but not least, don't forget to pray along with meditation, because you have a sending mode and a receiving mode. And if you don't send out what you want, you'll never see what you want. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, and if you can hold it in your hand, if you can see it in your hand, you can hold it in your hand.
Said you look like the painting called Prince of Peace.
I'm going to look that up right now.
But Wally, he's another meditator. He's
Okay.
been meditating. He's like,
My guru says everybody likes vibrations. You know, I'm like, wait, where's he going with that? But, you know, I know what my girlfriend was thinking. Fuck, man. She's like, I'm gonna need some more AAAs.
But yeah, I gotta go, y'all. We gonna tap in another time, though. You know what I mean? But
Stay
like
blessed.
I said, stay blessed. Yeah, peace and love, y'all. Y'all know. And miss like the last 20 minutes. Dang, that's messed up.
Domo
Conscious robot.
arigato, Mr. Conscious.
Domo arigato.
Yep.
But all right, you guys.
Peace.
Good show. Good show.